They shadow dropped it. No announcement. When they announced it, available now.
Yeah. So full on. But is it one of those things where it's like just the skins are redone, like the gameplay's all still the same?
I think they left as much of it the same as possible, but I think it is kind of more remake than remaster. I think they remade it in Unreal Engine.
All right, then, is that on Xbox? I think I might get that. Because I didn't play Oblivion.
I didn't play it either. I played Skyrim.
I put a fourth of my life into Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim.
I played Skyrim.
Skyrim was a way of life.
My save files, if I look back, it's like 90 hours. Like, oh my God.
90 hours is nothing.
Really? Okay.
I never got into it because I knew I'd like it.
Yeah,
It's too good.
I like Minecraft and Zelda.
Yeah.
Well, those are kind of the same. Those are.
I was like, if I play RuneScape, I'm just gonna throw my life away. Same with World of Warcraft.
The crazy thing about Skyrim too is it has a system that will never stop creating side quests.
Yes.
Like there's always going to be, it's going to be the same shit you've done a million times, but it like never stops creating it.
Well, I like grinding. Like I like play Pokemon and just running through a bush for like 3 hours. Level up anything.
For me, it was creating iron daggers to get your blacksmith.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Iron daggers. Like
It is cool that it lets you level up stuff even when you fail it though. It's like, oh, you tried it? Few points.
Yeah, we'll give
More
you
points if you did it right. We'll give you some points for trying it.
Is it a two-guitar song?
This is just a one, so let's just do one at a time, I think, for this. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm trying to find some. Like I've been waiting for like an older game like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
We did. Have you ever played a game called 13? It's like a comic book style, like secret agent person.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And you released that.
All right, Megan, you ready? Okay. All right.
Check.
Okay, so talking down the form, the song's pretty much gonna just be as the recording is. Only thing is, since we don't have a keyboard TA or player, the keyboard solo part you can also solo.
For letter D, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, letter D. So we'll just make it kind of really 2 guitar solos.
Yeah.
Just
It's a 4-bar solo.
yeah, exactly. It's pretty short.
Gives me more
so yeah.
time.
So that'll be an 8-bar, and generally you could probably fill quite a bit even in the intro and stuff like that, since the keyboard's doing a lot of those sort of fills and stuff. So you can almost probably overplay from what the recording has.
Okay.
So really the only thing that's kind of open at the moment is going to be the ending. So, Megan, if you take a look really quick, take a look at mixed bass chart right here at the very ending line. So this is the spot where it fades out on the recording. So what the band has is 4 measures, and it just says that it's open, and then on cue. So what I want you to do is I want you to cue the last time for that. But make sure you kind of cue within the 4-bar phrase. So try not to get lost in how many bars have gone by. It should either be 8 bars long if you want it short, 12 bars long, 16 bars long, something like that.
After the lyrics, 4 bars.
So that's the thing, is the ending is kind of more ad-libbed, right? And I don't remember what I wrote for the lyrics, but they kind of start fading out. So you can follow what's there on the very end, but really the point of that section is to kind of be trading with the guitar. Where you sing a line, the guitar responds, you sing a line, the guitar responds. And so I want you to make the call when that's over. Okay? So in this case, it's not really like last week where you have to give them the exact beat. It's more that you just need to let them know this is the last time we're doing it. So all you have to do is kind of raise your hand like this. This is kind of a universal symbol for last time. Okay. So whenever we're nearing the end of the 4 bars, probably in the 3rd bar, or it's so slow, even in the 4th bar, is an okay time to hit that key. Let's just try it, not overthink it, and we'll adjust it as we get there. Okay. But otherwise, the song will just play exactly down as is. Cool? To address. First thing, the tempo's way too fast. Right? I mean, it's marked at what? 55? We gotta be at like 75. Like, it's like way too fast. Right? So it needs to be kind of painfully slow in a way, right? It's really, really slow. And I think most of the time I don't mind too much if the tempo varies a little bit, but I think it's making it where she has to just spit out the lyrics so fast. And it's already pretty physically challenging to sing, and when she has this much time to recover from the line she just sang to go to the next one, it's like, it's just frantic, and it feels a little bit frantic on her end, I think. The tempo doesn't feel fast if just you guys were playing, but I think with the vocal part is what's causing a little bit of the issue, okay? Now, you did really well to keep up, considering how fast the tempo was. So why don't we work out a couple of things about the ending. One thing that's confusing about the ending is how many bars is letter F?
He's 5. Oh no, he's a 4 plus 5.
It's 4 plus 5, right? And so I think you have a crash written on what, bar 44? Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Please put another crash on 46.
Okay.
Because it's kind of just a little short tag that's added, they kind of just cycle the progression, just the back part of the progression again really quick. I think what happens is when you hit a fill in bar 45 and hit a crash on 46, it resets our ears to hear what the beginning of the phrase is. Okay. That's super important when you have an odd number of bars, because otherwise it would be easy to just kind of hear it as 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, like basically the rest of the song is. So I think a big fill in bar 45 probably beats 3 and 4, and a really clear crash on letter G, because I think even once we got to the end, it was a little, I think everybody's 4-bar phrase was kind of in a different spot, right, where you were switching to the ride, where it was happening, because things were flipped around a little bit, right? So make that really, really clear. I think it's a good call to switch to the ride near the end, to also kind of set up kind of some pacing there. I think that's cool. But definitely try to make, that was a pretty polite forte, I would say, on letter G. You know what I mean? And in the recording, there's multiple keyboard parts. There's a piano, there's an organ, there's a bunch of horns that are in it as well. We don't have all that. So it's kind of on everybody to up their dynamic levels and make them more extreme so it's clearer. And I think these guys are doing well. And I think you could catch up to them dynamically, making each level clearer. So when we have this scenario where we just don't have the instrumentation that an original recording has, we have to do a little more individually to find how much space we have to fill. Even playing, by the end of the song, fewer just eighth notes and right? Throw in some more 16th notes. Fill more space, whatever that means. Bigger fills, louder, more subdivision if needed. I think it could kind of help. Okay? So maybe let's run just the end. Let's start from letter F. So for you, that's going to be take your price now.
Okay.
So let's go from there to the end. See if we can. It might be a little more natural to know where to cue if we have kind of the bars right. So let's try it again. From letter F.
Take your prize now and just walk away. We can believe to love another day. Why would you bring a new love around so soon? Why would you wanna run so in my room? Would you have to hurt me? Oh, make me feel so bad. Rub it so in my wound.
Cool. Yeah, that was a better place to cue. You could probably do it just a second earlier.
Okay.
I think it was still good.
You gotta play louder at that point.
The band was still kind of picking up on where to do it, but I want you to remember what everybody has to do for the ending, right? Especially for our drummer, right? Our drummer usually needs to play a fill, a pretty significant one, to kind of indicate to the band that the song is ending. What happens a lot of times is sometimes if you're on a very big stage, you don't necessarily have the space to cue every single individual, right? But if you're able to especially make sure that the drummer knows with enough time, and then they can set it up musically by playing a real big fill, they may even pull the tempo back a little bit, right? It's almost like they're your direct line of communication to get the cue to happen. This is a small enough stage and a small enough group, it's pretty easy to cue everybody, so everybody still saw. But just remember that he has a little bit of a job to do. So if you just do it, I mean, a hair earlier, it was still kind of fine, but it could help him to set it up better if it's just the tiniest bit earlier. But that was way better in terms of keeping track of the 4-bar phrase and going, okay, now I'm done, right? You kind of knew you were done and you gave the cue, right? And that's the thing, is being aware that, okay, I think this is the last thing I have to do, right? Would be kind of a good sense to just kind of have. Okay, nice. So tempo's much better. I think when you count off, because it's so slow, give us the 8th note.
Oh, yeah.
You get 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all going to come back in a little bit more strongly because we have more subdivision. You know, kind of below about 70, an 8th note is kind of nice to have. You know, because it's so slow, just make sure we're all feeling it the same way in those spots. Even in the beginning of the song, if you want to 1, 2, 3. All right, give a little fill on beat 4. So many drummers just do that every time, just because that first beat, if there's not a little bit of something to settle into it, it can be like, when it's that slow. So it might be good to just play a real light fill going into the song. Okay, I think probably turn down a little bit from where you got. It was better than where it was the first pass, but then it got a little too loud, I think. Yeah. So really nice on the fills and stuff, Kellen. I think that's nice. I would say maybe 2 things. Maybe have kind of like a tier of, you know, as you move through the song, like not giving up too much of it too early, I guess. Like not overfilling at the beginning of the song, so that if you're filling more near the end, it feels like it's kind of gone somewhere, if that makes sense, right? So maybe filling a little less in like the first verse or so, and then filling more in the last verse relative to one another. But the fills are nice. The second thing, maybe more of the fills, just making sure they're in the spaces, right? A lot of them are happening on top of the vocal part, with kind of the more chord fill type stuff, I guess I mean specifically. So kind of making sure, it's okay if they cross over a little bit, even on the recording they do cross over a little bit, but this felt a little heavy-handed to me, where it was getting almost distracting to a point. Okay, but the ideas are great. Maybe a small thing to think about in the solo, I mean, letter D is kind of more of a B minor part, letter E is kind of more of a D major part until it nears kind of the end of it, right? It like starts off very D major sounding, obviously pretty much the same collection of notes, but maybe trying to make that emphasizing the difference between the two a little more could be good, especially with no chords underneath, right? Like the note choice could have more of an impact on how you're doing that. And I always suggest on the G7, maybe try to get the note F in there instead of F sharp. Okay. Right? So almost just kind of thinking more blues scale there, minus the 5, I guess. Using that can be a really nice way to outline that specific change because it has that F in it where pretty much nothing else, I don't think, has an F. So that can be a cool little moment to kind of emphasize there. Just as some stuff to try because it already sounds pretty much right in the style and great. So kind of getting nitty to a lot of it. So we'll go through the whole song again this time. I'd like to hear it again with now you singing at the right tempo. I think it will help the cause. But I think you learned the song really, really well. I have heard a lot of people perform this song in a lot of years that I've taught this class. And I think you've gotten it the closest to the recording I may have ever heard. So that's a big compliment coming from me. Okay, so really nice work on that. One small thing I would say, sometimes when there's kind of runs that she sings, da-da-da, right, where there's like multiple notes, sometimes you're singing exactly what she's doing. Sometimes you're simplifying it. Sometimes you're just kind of falling off the note. And it almost doesn't have the same effect. I think it might be better to stay stable on the pitch rather than just kind of randomly fall off of it. It either needs to be pretty particular, the notes.
Yeah, because like the original song has a lot of riff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things that you can do one of two things. Either just stay on the melody note and not embellish it too much if you're not sure what the run is, or just simplify the runs. There are times where you are simplifying the riffs, and I think they're working really well, but then sometimes there's just times where the note just kind of falls, and I feel like it loses energy in that way. I'd rather hear the note held out, maybe with some vibrato, as a form of embellishment rather than just kind of falling. I think for this song, it feels a little funny when they just fall off. So maybe try either holding the note, adding some vibrato, or singing the simple fills, and then the ones that you can match them. Okay? So just try it out, see what happens. If I can find a more particular spot, I'll say it. That's just from memory. Okay, from the top. that letter G, the last letter there, right? You played one bar of that on the hi-hat, and then you started the second bar on the ride, right? And it just flips everybody's feel around about where the new downbeat is. And it's natural, right? Because you wanted to hear, oh, that was 9 bars, let me hear one more, and then hear the crash. But, like, that's all on you when there's weird phrasing, right? There's a surprising number of songs out there that might have, like, a 7-bar chorus, or an extra bar here or there, or a 2/4 bar here or there. And I think as like a really distinct thing, like while I'm playing, like I want no question about where the downbeat is. And a lot of that falls on my counting, but also the drummer setting it up so that it all feels right, you know what I mean? So I would really take that into account. I think also, you're saying cross stick pretty much the whole song, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is what the chart has. I think another thing that you can do to add some variation is just have spots where you just play on the snare instead, right? So I think it's letter C, the section just before the guitar solo. Maybe switch to the snare there, right? Just so that part has a bit of a lift. It's a new chord progression. It's kind of a new melody. This song isn't necessarily like a verse-chorus type of song, but that spot is a change. It's kind of the bridge of the song. And then when you go to letter D, to the more quiet part of the guitar solo, you can go back to cross stick, and then go to the ride and the full snare at letter E, right? Once again, it's okay to go against what's on the recording if it adds the energy that we need here. With a slow song with only 4 people, it's so hard to get the energy to not feel dead on the song, right? Because we just don't have all the other stuff, right? So try some of that out, right? More snare drums in certain spots. You can go straight to the snare drum on letter G at the end, straight to the ride, straight to the snare drum, and build that out, right? And go from there. Okay, nice, Colin. I think that now maybe meet in the middle just a little bit. I think you could fill a tiny bit more. Not as much as the first time, but more than you just did, I think. Because kind of same thing, it's so easy for the energy to kind of fall out when kind of, if there's moments where nothing's happening. So I always ask myself when I'm listening, and when I'm playing and listening, going like, okay, it feels like nothing's happening. Should I be the one who does something? And if like a second goes by and nothing's happening, then I'll just do something, right? To kind of like hopefully encourage everybody to kind of push the energy forward. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's a thing that I'm the type of person, if it ain't happening, I'm going to take control and I'm going to do it, right? Because otherwise it probably won't happen. We're all waiting on each other. I think good adjustment on the runs and stuff like that. I think it was a lot. There are clearly a few spots where you're unsure about which note to stop on, though, right? I think it was, let's see. I can't remember. If I can't remember in a second, I'll just have to forget. But I think like Squeeze the Pain was maybe a spot that was a little like, what's exactly happening there? But it's like the other parts are so strong that that part only sticks out just because the other parts were so good. So really nice on the end as well. I think the cue was good, nice and clear for me. So I think that's great. So yeah, really nice. Because I know this song is difficult and you're our only singer here today, it's okay to take it easy and sing some of it, not to your fullest energy if it's making your voice tired. So because I've heard you do the best version of it, so it's okay to take it a little easy now. Let's have Kellen play one more time. I like the emphasis of the major on the D major. I think that was really nice. In the solo, switching to kind of the D major part, I thought that was cool. It does kind of shift back to B minor there near the end, and so I think re-emphasizing that and whatever it has to be to make that happen will be cool. And then maybe just every now and then a little off in the chord sequence, but you always find your way back there, so that's all good. So let's go one more time. Count off. Give us 8th notes, but don't count it double time. Don't count it 1, 2, 3, 4. You give us 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. If it helps you to say something on all those beats, just say 3 and 4 and. Don't say 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because then we're gonna play right. That's not the right song.
Did you want? But just this song has like some keyboard parts?
Yeah, most of them don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we usually don't have them. Oh, sometimes I'll play, but I don't think I'm equipped.
Oh.
So I don't know the song well. I don't know the chords well enough. Watch.
Take your prize now and just walk away. Wake up, live to love another day. Why would you bring a new love around so soon? Why would you wanna rub salt in my wound? Why would you wanna rub salt in my wounds? Make me feel looked down. Make me feel so bad. Why would you have to bring a new love around so soon? Why would you have to hurt me? Oh, make me feel so bad. Wrap it so in my wounds.
Okay, so that time the cue was just a bit too late,
Yeah, I know.
right?
Sorry.
Now you did a good thing where I could see the wheels turning of like, okay, I wanted to cue and I forgot, not sure what to do. I'm supposed to sing one more line. Oh, can't do it there, can't do it there. And you waited for the perfect time. He left you space and you're saying right in that space. And he was like, yes, yes, nice, we got it. But then it was kind of like, no, I want it to be over. I want this to stop. I don't think I'm going to be so lucky next time, right? It felt like, oh, I'll just take what I can get. And what ended up happening is he was in the middle of playing something, and then the band just kind of has to stop, and then it makes it kind of like a little bit of an awkward ending.
Still just enough time for us to catch the ending.
Yeah, right. It was enough time to catch it, but not enough time to really make something out of it, right? So, but overall, some really good adjustments on the melody. I think I got in your head a little bit about Squeeze the Pain, because that was somehow worse than it had been before, right? Kellen, I think in terms of the solos, this one felt the perfect, I mean the comping too, but I think it was paced perfectly, right? It felt just right to me. Like phrases were super clear. There's the minor part, there's the major part. Even like the minor part being a little Dorian-ish to make it really sound like B minor, and the D major part and all that. I love the jump up to the high note and slide down. It's so cool. You know, it's great. So it's really nice stuff in there. Nice improvements on that. It's getting better, but I think now, like, sometimes when I was sitting back there, I was kind of imagining when I would hear you fill, sometimes it sounds a little bit like the drums are just falling over, more than like a really intentional fill, right? It just sounds like, oh, I'm supposed to fill here, so I'm just going to throw some notes in, right? And so I think being really intentional about the sharpness of the rhythms, right? Boom, 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 right? Making it super clear, because it's a little like, right? It's not very emphatic, I think. And then sometimes it'll just stick out as like so loud, or the timing starts to wiggle a little bit